Chapter 37. And Bezalel made the ark of hard wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide and 1.5 cubits high, plating it inside and out with the best gold, and putting an edge of gold all round it. And he made 4 gold rings for its 4 angles, 2 on one side and 2 on the other, and rods of the same wood plated with gold. These rods he put in the rings at the sides of the ark, for lifting it. And he made the cover all of gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. And he made 2 winged ones, hammered out of 1 bit of gold, for the 2 ends of the cover, placing one at one end and one at the other. The winged ones were part of the cover. And their wings were stretched out over the cover. The faces of the winged ones were opposite one another and facing the cover. And he made the table of hard wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide and 1.5 cubits high, plating it with the best gold and putting a gold edge all round it. And he made a frame all round it about as wide as a man's hand, edged with gold all round. And he made 4 gold rings, and put the rings at the angles of its 4 feet. The rings were fixed under the frame to take the rods with which the table was to be lifted. The rods for lifting the table he made of hard wood plated with gold. And all the table vessels, the plates and spoons and basins and the cups for liquids, he made of the best gold. Then he made the support for the lights, all of the best gold. Its base and its pillar were of hammered gold. Its cups and buds and flowers were all made out of the same metal. It had 6 branches coming out from its sides, 3 from one side and 3 from the other, every branch having 3 cups made like almond flowers, every cup with a bud and a flower on all the branches. And on its pillar, 4 cups like almond flowers, every one with its bud and its flower. And under every 2 branches a bud, made with the branch, for all 6 branches of it. The buds and the branches were made of the same metal, altogether one complete work of the best hammered gold. And he made the 7 vessels for the lights, and all the necessary instruments for it, of gold. A talent of the best gold was used for the making of it and its vessels. And he made the altar for the burning of spices, using the same hard wood. It was square, 1 cubit long and 1 cubit wide and 2 cubits high, the horns made of the same. The top and the sides and the horns were all plated with the best gold, and he put an edge of gold all round it. And he made 2 gold rings, placing them on the 2 opposite sides under the edge, to take the rods for lifting it. The rods he made of the same hard wood, plating them with gold. And he made the holy oil and the perfume of sweet spices for burning, after the art of the perfume. Chapter 38. The altar of burnt offerings he made of hard wood, a square altar, 5 cubits long, 5 cubits wide and 3 cubits high, and he put horns at its 4 angles made of the same, plating it all with brass. And brass was used for all the vessels of the altar, the baskets and the spades, the basins and the meat hooks and the fire trays. All the vessels he made of brass, and he made a network of brass for the altar, under the frame round it, stretching halfway up, and 4 rings for the 4 angles of this network, to take the rods. The rods he made of hard wood plated with brass. He put the rods through the rings at the opposite sides of the altar for lifting it. He made the altar hollow, boarded in with wood. And he made the washing vessel of brass on a brass base, using the polished brass looking glasses given by the women who did work at the doors of the tent of meeting. To make the open space, he put hangings on the south side, of the best linen, 100 cubits long. Their 20 pillars and their 20 bases were brass, and the hooks of the pillars and their bands were of silver. And for the north side, hangings 100 cubits long, on 20 brass pillars and brass bases, with silver hooks and bands. And on the west side, hangings 50 cubits long, on 10 pillars and 10 bases, with silver bands. And on the east side, the open space was 50 cubits long. The hangings on one side of the doorway were 15 cubits long, on 3 pillars with their 3 bases, and the same on the other side of the doorway. On this side and on that the hangings were 15 cubits long, on 3 pillars with their 3 bases. All the hangings were of the best linen. And the bases of the pillars were of brass, their hooks and the bands round the tops of them were of silver. All the pillars were ringed with silver. And the curtain for the doorway of the open space was of the best linen, with designs of blue and purple and red and needlework. It was 20 cubits long and 5 cubits high, to go with the hangings round the sides. There were 4 pillars with their bases, all of brass, the hooks being of silver, and their tops and their bands being covered with silver. All the nails used for the house and the open space round it were of brass. This is the price of the making of the house, even the house of witness, as it was valued by the word of Moses, for the work of the Levites under the direction of Itamar, the son of Aaron the priest. Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made everything as the Lord had given orders to Moses. And with them was Oholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, a designer and a trained workman, expert in needlework of blue and purple and red and the best linen. The gold used for all the different work done for the holy place, the gold which was given, was 29 talents, and 730 shekels in weight, by the scale of the holy place. And the silver given by those who were numbered of the people was 100 talents, and 1,775 shekels in weight, by the scale of the holy place. A beka, that is, half a shekel by the holy scale, for everyone who was numbered. There were 603,550 men of 20 years old and over. Of this silver, 100 talents was used for making the bases of the pillars of the holy place and of the veil, a talent for every base. And 1,775 shekels of silver was used to make the hooks for the pillars, and for plating the tops of the pillars and for making their bands. The brass which was given was 70 talents, 2,400 shekels. From it he made the bases of the doorway of the tent of meeting and the brass altar and the network for it and all the vessels for the altar, and the bases for the open space all round and for its doorway, and all the nails for the house and for the open space. Chapter 39. And from the needlework of blue and purple and red they made the robes used for the work of the holy place, and the holy robes for Aaron, as the Lord had given orders to Moses. The ephod he made of gold and blue and purple and red and the best linen, hammering the gold into thin plates and cutting it into wires to be worked into the blue and the purple and the red and the linen by the designer. And they made 2 bands for joining its edges together at the top of the arms. And the beautifully worked band which went on it was of the same design and the same material, worked in gold and blue and purple and red and twisted linen work, as the Lord gave orders to Moses. Then they made the beryl stones, fixed in twisted frames of gold and cut like the cutting of a stamp, with the names of the children of Israel. These he put on the ephod, over the armholes, to be stones of memory for the children of Israel, as the Lord had said to Moses. The priest's bag was designed like the ephod, of the best linen worked with gold and blue and purple and red. It was square and folded in 2, as long and as wide as the stretch of a man's hand, and on it they put 4 lines of stones. In the first line was a carnelian, a chrysolite, and an emerald, in the second, a ruby, a sapphire, and an onyx, in the third, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst, in the fourth, a topaz, a beryl, and a jasper. They were fixed in twisted frames of gold. There were 12 stones for the 12 tribes of Israel, on every one the name of one of the tribes of Israel was cut, like the cutting of a stamp, and on the bag they put gold chains, twisted like cords. And they made 2 gold frames and 2 gold rings, the rings being fixed to the ends of the priest's bag, and they put the 2 twisted chains on the 2 rings at the ends of the priest's bag, and the other 2 ends of the chains were joined to the 2 frames and fixed to the front of the ephod over the armholes. And they made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 lower ends of the bag, on the inner side nearest to the ephod, and 2 other gold rings were put on the front of the ephod, over the armholes, at the join, and over the worked band. And the rings on the bag were fixed to the rings of the ephod by a blue cord, keeping it in place over the band, so that the bag might not get loose, as the Lord gave orders to Moses. The robe which went with the ephod was made all of blue, with a hole at the top in the middle, like the hole in the coat of a fighting man, etched with a band to make it strong. The skirts of the robe were worked all round with fruits in blue and purple and red made of twisted linen, and between the fruits all round the skirt they put gold bells, as the Lord gave orders to Moses. All round the skirt of the robe were bells and fruits in turn. The coats for Aaron and his sons they made of the best linen, and the twisted headdress for Aaron, and beautiful headdresses of linen, and linen trousers, and a linen band worked with a design of blue and purple and red, as the Lord had said to Moses. The plate for the holy crown was made of the best gold, and on it were cut these words, Holy to the Lord. It was fixed to the headdress by a blue cord, as the Lord had given orders to Moses. So all the work on the house of the tent of meeting was done, as the Lord had given orders to Moses, so the children of Israel did it. Then they took the house to Moses, the tent with all the things for it, its hooks, its boards, its rods, its pillars, and its bases. the outer cover of sheepskins colored red, and the cover of leather, and the veil for the doorway, the ark of the law, with its rods and its cover, the table, with all its vessels and the holy bread, the support for the lights, with the vessels for the lights to be put in their places on it, and all its vessels, and the oil for the lights, and the gold altar, and the holy oil, and the sweet perfume for burning, and the curtain for the doorway of the tent, and the brass altar, with its network of brass, and its rods and all its vessels, and the washing vessel at its base, the hangings for the open space, with the pillars and their bases, and the curtain for the doorway, and the cords and nails, and all the instruments necessary for the work of the house of the tent of meeting, the robes for use in the holy place, and the holy robes for Aaron and his sons when acting as priests. The children of Israel did everything as the Lord had given orders to Moses. Then Moses, when he saw all their work and saw that they had done everything as the Lord had said, gave them his blessing. Chapter 40. And the Lord said to Moses, On the first day of the first month you are to put up the house of the tent of meeting. And inside it put the ark of the law, hanging the veil before it. And put the table inside, placing all the things on it in order, and put in the support for the lights, and let its lights be burning. And put the gold altar for burning perfumes in front of the ark of the law, hanging the curtain over the doorway of the house. And put the altar of burnt offerings before the doorway of the house of the tent of meeting. And let the washing vessel, with water in it, be put between the tent of meeting and the altar. And put up the hangings forming the open space all round it, with the curtain over its doorway. And take the holy oil and put it on the house and everything in it, and make it and everything in it holy, and put oil on the altar of burnt offering, and make it and all its vessels holy. This altar is to be most holy. And put oil on the washing vessel and its base, and make them holy. Then let Aaron and his sons come to the door of the tent of meeting, and after washing them with water, you are to put on Aaron the holy robes, and you are to put oil on him, and make him holy, so that he may be my priest. And take his sons with him and put coats on them, and put oil on them as you did on their father, so that they may be my priests. The putting on of oil will make them priests forever, from generation to generation. And Moses did this, as the Lord gave him orders, so he did. So on the first day of the first month in the second year the house was put up. Moses put up the house, placing its bases in position and lifting up its uprights, putting in the rods and planting the pillars in their places, stretching the outer tent over it, and covering it, as the Lord had given him orders. And he took the law and put it inside the ark, and put the rods at its side and the cover over it, and he took the ark into the house, hanging up the veil before it as the Lord had given him orders. And he put the table in the tent of meeting, on the north side outside the veil. And he put the bread on it in order before the Lord, as the Lord had said. The support for the lights he put in the tent of meeting, opposite the table, on the south side, lighting the lights before the Lord, as the Lord had given him orders. And he put the gold altar in the tent of meeting, in front of the veil, burning sweet perfumes on it, as the Lord had given him orders. And he put up the curtain at the doorway of the house. And at the door of the house of the tent of meeting, he put the altar of burnt offerings, offering on it the burnt offering and the meal offering, as the Lord had given him orders. And between the altar and the tent of meeting he put the vessel with water in it for washing. In it the hands and feet of Moses and Aaron and his sons were washed, whenever they went into the tent of meeting, and when they came near the altar, as the Lord had given orders to Moses. And he put up the hangings forming the open space round the house and the altar, and put the curtain over the doorway. So Moses made the work complete. Then the cloud came down covering the tent of meeting, and the house was full of the glory of the Lord, so that Moses was not able to go into the tent of meeting, because the cloud was resting on it, and the house was full of the glory of the Lord. And whenever the cloud was taken up from the house, the children of Israel went forward on their journey, but while the cloud was there, they made no move till it was taken up, for the cloud of the Lord was resting on the house by day, and at night there was fire in the cloud, before the eyes of all the people of Israel, and so it was through all their journeys.